For any Xbox or PlayStation codes or cheap games on any platform, use the referral link in the description. It'll take you to g2a.com. Use the promo code CHES over there and you'll get yourself 3% cash back. Also, I've got a new merchandise store, hats, hoodies and new tee designs, all available right now on the link in the description. Hey guys, welcome to episode number 13 of the Everton Career Mode series here on Season 3. We start with a game away from home against Bournemouth on Remembrance Sunday, November the 11th. And we actually have a game in hand on the side that are top of the table in Arsenal, as do Manchester United behind us. Arsenal drew on match day 11, so have only stretched the lead to 6 points. We can close that to 3 with a win over the Cherries. They, however, will be desperate for points themselves, trying to stave off the potential of a relegation fight later in the season. Sat down in 17th, only a point outside the drop. And, of course, West Ham and Crystal Palace, as you can see, have only played the 10 games as well. So we're desperate for points. Manchester United will be desperate to stay hot on our heels and Arsenal's tail as well. But fingers crossed we can get a victory in this first game at the very least. We follow this game up with one against Watford, which hopefully should be a winnable game. And then we have the third game of the episode is the penultimate, question mark? Yes, penultimate game of the Europa League group stage, which we think we're pretty much already confirmed as through to the next round because of goal difference and the points gap we've amassed. So that should be a pretty simple game, and I can kind of rest players considering we have a very busy December as things stand right now with the game in the Football League Cup against Leeds, the quarterfinals, and then, of course, the game against Aarhus, as well as 6 different Premier League ties in the month as well. So, very busy month coming up, so we need to make the most of this free time we have between games now. Bournemouth first, then Watford, then Standard Liège. Drop the video a like if you enjoy, subscribe to the channel too to make sure you don't miss out on any further content, and we'll jump straight in. He'll steal that off Charlie Daniels. He's calling for a foul, but you're not going to get one in that situation, my man. I'm going to give this to Lukaku. Spin on it. Is that a foul? Nothing given. Carrasco. It's a lovely turn, and it's an equally impressive finish on his left foot. We are 1-0 up inside the opening half an hour. Very, very good finish there from Carrasco. Slightly lucky with the way that it popped to him there, but turned well, got past the defender, and actually it's an impressive finish. I didn't fancy it on his left foot. I was just hoping that maybe the keeper would either save it and go out for a corner, or he'd palm it into CALHANOGLU, who's waiting there at the back post. As it turned out, the Belgian smacked it into the back of the net himself. 1-0. Corners come in for Bournemouth. Ryan Fraser stands it up to the near post. Callum Wilson brings it down. Oh my God, thank the Lord for Funes Mori. If he hadn't been there, that would have gone all the way across the box to the man at the back post. Actually, very, very close to Bournemouth getting a goal back there. Everybody just seemed to stop and stare at the ball as it was drilled across the goal mouth from Callum Wilson there. And it was only Funes Mori that was alive to the danger. But thankfully, he was there to stop them from equalising. Bertrand with the throw. There's Hakan Calhanoglu. Let's try and find some space, if you don't mind. The number of Bournemouth defenders with me there. Through that gap there to Deulofeu. Roll the defender. We're in. Jared Deulofeu. Off the top of the bar. Of course it is. That would have really, you would have thought, put the game to bed even before half-time. I wouldn't have thought Bournemouth are going to score 2, but if I'd have just kept that down and drilled it into the bottom corner, maybe we'd have found that 2-goal lead I'm looking for. Ariata swept up wide to Ryan Fraser, who is very quick. And he's showing that here, getting past Ryan Bertrand, but Funes Mori is able to turn that away. Lukaku won't get to that, so we'll just drop in, try and stop them from doing the same again, but they're giving it to Fraser again. But he's turned Carrasco brilliantly there and whips the ball in. Oh, it's going to drop to Dangozan, is it? No, Sergio Rico gets there, thankfully. Yeah, just calm down. Thank you, Sergio. I needed that. I got a little bit nervous there when that bounced back off the defender, but thankfully went straight to the keeper. Bournemouth causing me problems in the opening to the second half, but thankfully no real problems for Sergio Rico yet. Trissa through there to Romelu. I see the run being made by Calhanoglu. Just play the 1-2 off the defender and draw a good save out the keeper, Kraft. Very lucky with how it dropped back to Romelu Lukaku, but take it. Sometimes you just got to take advantage of little moments like that. Bournemouth weren't able to do so a moment ago when it got deflected back off the defender, but we were very nearly able to take advantage of that one. But unfortunately for me, their goalkeeper was in the way. Now here's Jordan Ibe. That's a lovely ball through, but Ryan Bertrand's dealt with that very well indeed. Holgate with the throw. Calhanoglu works himself into some space. It's a dangerous cross. Francis gets it away. Bertrand, though, awful touch. I was going to try and get that to the man on the edge of the box. You might call to the referee, mate, but it was your first touch that led to that. Alfie Hill into Calhanoglu, quickly to Idrissa here. Good footwork from him. Into Ryan Bertrand on his left foot. Tried to place it, but not placed well enough. Straight into the arms of Kraft. Back inside to Lukaku. I'm tempted to shoot from here, but we'll get it to Dowell, who spun well. Kieran Dowell. Oh, I tried to pull it back into that near post, but unfortunately, I pulled it back a little bit too far. Decent effort, though, from the youngster. Looking for our second goal of the game, but we just haven't been able to find it so far. Just under, or just over 15 minutes to go, I think. Lukaku's up. He's flicked it on brilliantly. Dowell will poke this out wide to Carrasco. It wasn't the best of through balls, actually. Wanted to get that into his stride, but we'll look for Dowell again. Brings it under control. Oh, what a save. I thought that was going to go into that bottom corner. But unfortunately, it's a good save again from Kraft. He's had a couple of good stops in this game. Deulofeu's up. Oh, that was rather fortunate on how it ended up in the back of the net. I think it took a big deflection in front of the keeper. We have been able to beat Kraft for a second time. We'll have a look at the replay. Deulofeu with a header. Oh, yeah, I don't know whether it came off the defender. Have a closer look. You can't tell from any of these replay angles, but it definitely took a big deflection right in front of the keeper. Comes off the post. Unfortunately for Eddie Howe and his boys, it's going to be a 2-0 win for us down at Dean Court. Final whistle goes. It's going to be a 2-0 victory here away from home against Bournemouth. Really pleased with the performance and the result, obviously. They kept the ball slightly better than us, but it was very even possession-wise. But you can see, chance creation-wise, it was only going to be one winner in that game today. We're going to push forward then into the game against Watford in 2 weeks' time after an international break. Hopefully, all of our players come back fully fit. Everybody came back fit. Socrates is slightly low on stamina, but it'll be fine for this game against Watford. And everybody else is at 100% strength. Unfortunately, Krychowiak still isn't anywhere near full fitness. Surely we won't get back until like March, so don't need to worry about that. But I would like to get Krychowiak back into the starting lineup sooner rather than later. Although we've been playing well enough without him, so hopefully things can continue in that vein. Alban Lafont asked to play in this game, so I've decided to give him the start, and he'll play in goal in the game against Standard Liège as well midweek. But for now, we're going to concentrate on this Premier League game against Watford. Jovetic into Holovas, turning inside well. Tried to trip him actually there. Oh, decent attempted finish from Etienne Capoue. Scored a good goal at the weekend, just gone for Watford, and looked to sweep that one home, but it just turned a little bit too much. Lafont nowhere near it. If that was headed into that bottom corner, then it was definitely going to be 1-0 Watford there. Oh, tackled though. Lukaku looks to win it back and has done well. I thought that was a foul actually, but Calhanoglu finds some space. Just couldn't quite put my foot all the way through it. Was going to look for the top corner, or at least the right-hand side of the goal. Unfortunately, it went straight at the keeper, and unfortunately for Watford, they're going to have to take Captain Barami off here. That, what probably was a foul from Lukaku, has led to their man having to leave the field. Rafinha again. Lukaku's there. That's who the pass was initially meant for, but we'll poke it through there to get it away from the defender. And Lukaku, oh, strikes the bar, and it comes back off the woodwork and hits the keeper on the back. But unfortunately for me, it won't find the back of the net. Great effort from Romelu Lukaku running through, just couldn't quite bury it. Oh, best chance we've had of the half so far, I think. It's turned by McCarthy. Poke that in there to Rafinha. Get it to Calhanoglu. I actually want to come back to Rafinha here. Let's see runs being made, but McCarthy will look for Calhanoglu. Oh, it's unbelievable footwork from Hakan Calhanoglu. Pull that back. Lukaku 1-0. That is one of the best goals we've scored in this entire series. The footwork from Calhanoglu here. I don't quite know how he's done that. And the finish as well from Lukaku on his right foot. Bending down, leaning to wrap his foot around it and whip it into that bottom corner. That's a very impressive finish. I'm delighted with that, and it was going to take something of that quality to make the breakthrough here, because Watford have been pretty solid defensively. That footwork from Calhanoglu. The partnership links up again. Lukaku and Calhanoglu battering opposition all day long. McCarthy with the throw. Quickly into Seamus Coleman. I see Calhanoglu sat there. I'll lay this in front of Rafinha. If his touch is decent, we could go for the worldie from distance on his left foot. But can't quite get it on target. Looking for that right-hand side of the goal. Trying to bend it around the defender, but I just got a little bit too much underneath it. Would have been one hell of a goal had that gone top bins, though. Coleman with the throw. Quickly to Deulofeu. Pull it back here to McCarthy. Idris is in there. There is some space here. Carrasco. Oh, sweep it home on his left again. No, not able to do so. Get up. Don't you? No, he's going to stay down injured. We've already lost Andre Schürrle to injury for a considerable period of time this season. I cannot afford to lose another wide player, but he is up and back in the action here, as you can see on the mini-map. So hopefully he's going to be all right, and there are no long-lasting repercussions from that injury. I don't know what that pass was from CALHANOGLU, but at least it found a teammate. Delafeu into Lukaku. I'm just going to keep driving here, but somehow he pulled me back. Okay, right. I'm not going to take this quickly because this is a great position for CALHANOGLU to take a free kick. Hopefully we can do something from this. I'll try and use the curve that we know he has over the wall. It's whipping! Oh, great save from the goalkeeper. It was bending away towards that left-hand side. Carrasco does still have that injury. I may take him off to ensure that his injury doesn't worsen. In fact, I'll do that now. But I'm hoping... Oh, no, he's not even got the little emblem next to him anymore. All right. But we'll bring in Iñaki Williams on anyway. I'm hoping that Carrasco won't have, we'll go back to the main menu after the game and I won't get an email saying, Yannick Carrasco picked up an injury in the last game. Hopefully he'll be alright, it's just a knock, but we'll have to wait and see. Like I say, we can't really afford to lose another wide player with the injury of Schürrle. We do have youngsters to fill in, but I can't afford to be playing youngsters in big games, that's the only thing. Lukaku played in here, look across here to Carrasco. CALHANOGLU looking to make one final influence on the game before he gets substituted off. We'll turn inside the box. He may well have that influence, but he's not got the strength, unfortunately. And, oh God, better win this header, Seamus, otherwise they might be in. They aren't. There are 6 minutes to go. Oh, space. CALHANOGLU in on the right foot. I was trying to turn and then shoot, but he just kept running next to it. Never mind. We'll get to have a corner, and now those substitutions will come into effect. James Ward-Prowse bends that in awkwardly, but straight at the keeper, sadly. Never mind, 5 minutes to go. We still have our slim 1-goal lead. Keeper's up. 20 seconds left on the clock before we head into stoppage time, and it's a Watford corner. It's headed towards the keeper. Thankfully, we've got it away. There's nobody further out than Holovas here, but unfortunately, we have now won it back. If I can get this forward quickly, I'm just going to go for it. I've not hit that hard enough or anywhere near accurately enough. That was an odd first touch. Brings it down brilliantly second time around. I just had to. I couldn't resist the urge there. Keeper was on his way back to his goal, but I just... you can't resist the temptation in situations like that to try and score the worldie goal. We do get a 1-0 win, though, thankfully, so we're able to pick up 6 points from our 2 Premier League games in today's episode. We'll now head into the final game, which will be against Standard Liège in the Europa League. Into Peñaranda. Play that forward to James Ward-Prowse. Peñaranda's gone. And he's in. Peñaranda. Oh, it's a great tackle from Schultz. Probably should have taken it on Peñaranda's left there. Turning inside to get it on the right was clearly the wrong thing to do. But still, take nothing away from that tackle. If you cast your mind back, you remember that Standard Liège actually beat us by a single goal to nil in the first game against them at Goodison Park. And they've actually won all 4 of the games they've played so far this season in the Europa League group stage. They are 12 points for 12. We're 9 for 12, so we won every other game that we've played so far in the group stage, and unfortunately lost that game against today's opponents. But it might be nice to get a measure of revenge, although we only need a point to guarantee mathematically that we'll go through to the knockout stages. But we are basically already through. The gap is 6 points with 2 games to play, including this one. And obviously, with the situation of head-to-head and goal difference, we are clearly going to go through. But if we can win this, then we might stand a chance of going through as group champions rather than second place, which could get us an easier draw in the first knockout round. And Iñaki Williams just had to let flow with that as it dropped free. But unfortunately, it went wide. So Iñaki Williams gets it under control very well and very quickly as well. And we'll look for Peñaranda here. Takes it in his stride brilliantly. Defender going for... Oh, was that in or outside the box? Outside, but only just. A yellow card for the man who made the tackle. Was it Schultz? It was. He put in a brilliant tackle earlier on and tried to replicate it there, but this time Peñaranda was able to get past him. And, well, on the line is technically a penalty, but it clearly was just not on the line. James Ward-Prowse looked to get this up over the wall. Well, he did go over the wall, but only because of a deflection off the wall. And he went very, very high. We'll take the corner with Ward-Prowse. That's good. Lemos is up. Straight at Hubert. Anywhere else, and that was destined for the back of the net. We're dominating this game so far, but we haven't yet found a goal. Oh, that's a lovely ball looking for Raman. And it's going to reach him as well. Put the foot in with Funes Mori and missed the ball. That's a gorgeous opportunity for Standard Liège. I can't believe he's missed that. No pressure on him whatsoever, and that is one of the worst shots in a situation like that you were ever likely to see. Thought that was going to be 1-0 to them for a moment. Corner for Standard Liège. Dompe Diarra's just come on. He was involved in their goal when they went 1-0 up. Oh, in the previous game, and that was not far away from Belfodil. Very, very close to finding its way into that bottom left-hand corner. Brings it down well, and then... Ooh, too close for comfort, I think. Iñaki Williams into Tyus Browning. There's plenty of space down here for Ryan Bertrand. And look to drive inside, though, and just poke in front of a teammate. There's Idrissa. Managed to pick himself up after that kerfuffle a moment ago. Shot straight at the goalkeeper, though, from Iñaki Williams, unfortunately. 15 minutes to go. We look like we're destined for a 0-0 draw here, but there is still time for either side to find a goal. We'll have to wait and see if either side can find a goal. Right, that's to Iñaki Williams. I see the man in the middle. Oh, where's that headed? Out into the side netting for a corner. That would have been quite the fortunate way to take the lead if that had deflected into the back of the net. Iñaki Williams is underneath this, but got too much underneath it. Holgate will sweep this back out wide to James Ward-Prowse. We'll look for the early cross. It's deflected, and that's keepers. It's going to be a 0-0 draw against Standard Liège, which does put us through to the knockout stages of the competition confirmed, but we could still win the group. If we beat Aarhus and Rio Ave beat Standard Liège, then we should top the group. But we'll have to wait and see how things go in that third match day. Up next, for the first game of the next episode, is a game against Newcastle. And I think the game against Leeds in the Cup comes before the game against Aarhus, doesn't it? I will quickly just check the calendar. Do make sure you drop the video a like rating if you enjoyed today's episode, and subscribe if you haven't already. Yes, Newcastle, Leeds and Chelsea will come up in tomorrow's episode, and then we'll play Aarhus in the episode after that. The league table looks as follows. A single point separates ourselves and Arsenal. Manchester United and the guys at the top both still unbeaten so far this season. We do have Manchester United on the horizon as well. So it's going to be an interesting run-up towards the January transfer window. But that's going to be all for today. Thank you very much for watching. I'll see you next time.